The Northwest Peace and Security Summit, which held in Katsina State, offered a unique opportunity to prefer lasting solutions to the security challenges facing the region. With influential key players at the federal level, the state government, and international organizations in concert. That's our focus on Special Report. The 7 northwestern states of Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Jigawa, and Sokoto have been contending with challenges of insecurity for quite some time now, in varying degrees, whether it be banditry or terrorism, communal strife or kidnapping. It's exacerbated by poverty in the region, unemployment, and other factors which belie the vast human and natural resources the northwest region of Nigeria is endowed with. It's for the motive of finding collective sustainable solutions that the inaugural Northwest Peace and Security meeting was held, championed by the Katsina State Government in liaison with other northwestern states and the United Nations Development Programme, which is the leading United Nations organization working to limit poverty inequality and climate change as per their manifesto.
A journalist and editor of Nigeria's daily...
According to the organization, in Nigeria, the UNDP provides technical and policy development support to the federal government of Nigeria and supports the implementation of interventions across various thematic areas to meet the medium to long-term national development priorities and sustainable development goals.
His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III.
The entry of the Emir of Sokoto, His Eminence Mohammed Saad Abubakar, is announced as he arrives with his retinue.
This is to announce the presence of His Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, GCFR.
The occasion is also graced by the presence of the Vice President Kashim Shettima, representing President Bola Tinubu, who makes his entrance, followed by former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Immediate first President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
Other dignitaries present include governors, serving and past governors, traditional rulers, deputy governors, ministers, ambassadors and their representatives, officials of the United Nations and the UNDP, and invited guests. The German representative is called to the stage by Khadija Ahmed, the compere, who guides the proceedings. He evokes the latitude of the 60-year history of diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Germany.
This summit is only the culmination of efforts which have been done in the past, and it's also already the beginning for a new cooperation in order to bring peace to the region. Secondly, we need to rediscover the traditional ways to resolve conflicts. In many places, these traditional ways are affected by the conflict today. Traditional conflict resolution mechanisms that have existed for decades are now in peril, but we need to revive this in order to bring peace forwards. These mechanisms are best adapted to local circumstances and the culture, and when we give it the necessary resources, are best suited to resolve the conflicts in the communities before they escalate. UNDP, together with the Northwest Prevention Facility that has supported this summit and that we are proud of fund together with our Norwegian friends, the Norwegian ambassador is here, is building exactly on this, reviving community-based conflict resolution mechanisms and providing the infrastructure to build trust and confidence. Thirdly, another solution for achieving peace is providing state services. This can be anything from security measures such as police or army posts and improvement, border security, going up to housing, schools and clinics, to livelihood measures that support for micro and small businesses and for markets and vocational training. Such state services are the basis for stability and therefore for stable lives and livelihood. When they are not available, people look for other means of income. Lack of basic state services is therefore an essential driver of conflict. Reversely, providing state services is an essential contributor to peace. I'm proud to represent the German government here that has supported these efforts. Germany attaches great importance to the stability and peace of Nigeria and the region and will therefore continue to support these efforts.
An impassioned speech by the UNDP representative follows as Elsie Atafua underscores the important considerations.
Peace, security, and development are like the three musketeers, inseparable and equally important. Without peace, development stagnates. Without development, peace remains a distant dream. And without security, neither can thrive. Addressing one without the other is like trying to fix a leaking roof during a rainstorm. Bringing development into the picture matters a great deal because it challenges us to pay attention to the root causes of insecurity. Nigeria's progress on the Sustainable Development Goals stands at a modest 13%, with Northwest region significantly lagging behind. This region, home to nearly 30% of Nigeria's population, is crucial for the nation to achieve its full potential. If Nigeria is to fulfill its promise as a giant of Africa, we must pay attention to Northwest. Let it not appear like lifting a heavy load. If one arm is weak, the entire body struggles. Your Excellencies, the Northwest region holds immense potential for transformation as we navigate the challenges of fragility. The region, her people, and leaders embody the resilience, hope, and potential that needs to be connected to opportunity. Minerals alone offer a promising avenue, with close to 40 mineral deposits, including gold, copper, gypsum, granite, name them. Effective management and governance of these resources with appropriate benefit-sharing mechanisms will not only enrich the region's coffers, but also pave the way for prosperity.
The United Nations Resident Coordinator, in the person of Malik Var, focuses on the opportunities presented by this effort and other points.
This is the first economy in the continent. This is the country that has the greatest wealth of human resources in the continent. This is a country that is part of those that have the greatest wealth in terms of natural resources in this continent. What we need to do moving forward is not to focus only on the challenges, but it is also to look at the opportunity. It is also to see how together we can harness this potential. And as I say, by doing so, we will not drive only Nigeria, but we will drive sub-Saharan Africa. We will drive Africa continent entirely. But also by doing so, we will craft and create a narrative that will give hope to the young generation of Nigeria. They have to believe that there are other options than getting into extreme violence. They have to believe that in this country, this beautiful land, have more promises for them than anywhere else that they could migrate. But that need to be inculcated, that need to be given as a prospect to those young generation. And we, UN, if we have anything to do, if we have any commodity to sell, it is hope. It is giving hope people. It is bringing back people and their feet when they suffer. It is to be able to make sure that everyone believes in having a brighter future in the soil they belong to. And I think that's the narrative we need also to craft together during these 2 days. That's the narrative that will help to energize and mobilize this young generation of Nigerians. This is this young generation of Nigeria who will be the leader of tomorrow, who will drive not only Nigeria, but as I say earlier, will drive also our continent.
The commitment of the armed forces to end insecurity challenges in the Northwest region is highlighted by the Minister of Defense, Badaru Abubakar.
The armed forces of Nigeria, and indeed the security agencies of Nigeria, are committed in ending insecurity, not only in the Northwest, but in the country. We are open for partnership. We are open for collaboration. We agree for us to succeed, there must be genuine jointness. Jointness among the services and collaboration with the governors as well as the stakeholders. We are committed to ending this thing, and we are committed, and we are open, and we are ready for all possible collaboration. In days to come, I'm sure we will sit down with the governors to look at the outcome and the recommendations of this summit. And we will visit state by state with all the security agencies to look at the security situation vis-a-vis the recommendations that will be coming out of this summit and proper workable solution towards ending insecurity in Nigeria.
The Sultan of Sokoto speaks on behalf of the royal fathers, expounding solutions to the problems of insecurity.
We have met with the Northern Governors Forum nothing less than 5 to 6 times on some of these issues. Now, this new set of governors, I believe, will be the change we need to utilize on for us to reach out to everybody and have this successful outcome of whatever we decide to do. So we'd like to assure you, on behalf of the Northern Traditional Leaders, which I happen to be the chairman, on behalf of all traditional leaders in the country, we are always ready because we know the problem of the people on our shoulders, and people come to us, and we are always ready to work with the government or with the governors at all levels to move our states, our country forward. Be rest assured, we are willing, because our presence here alone shows that yes, we are here, and we are always willing, once we are called upon, or when we now call upon you, the governors, because we know your doors are always open to us. You have never stopped seeing us whenever we have issues to discuss with you. We will continue to work with you. We must continue to work with you because we know that's the only way forward to save our region, to save our country from the numerous problems that we've been facing.
The host governor, Malam Dikko Rada, who is also the chairman of the Northwest Governors Forum, explains the agenda, the roadmap to peace, and a path devoid of political party divide for the greater good of regional, national, and continental security.
The Northwest Governors Forum began shortly after we were elected in office. As governors-elect, we met and agreed to tackle our shared issues together. Insecurity was an obvious concern to all, and we agreed to work closely to tackle the issue. We also looked to developing agriculture and power supply in the region with the aim of promoting socio-economic development. We visited the President of African Development Bank as a group to seek support. We also recently met with the leadership of the United Nations to pursue a regional approach to development. Our effort to tackle security took us to Washington to attend a symposium put together by the United States Institute of Peace, where we informed them of our ongoing plan to hold the very summit at home. The Northwest governors are now a brotherhood with the goal of providing peace, security, prosperity for our people. We have transcended to the political divide and remain focused on a collective effort towards development while individually performing the mandate bestowed upon us by the people of our various states. The fight against insecurity is primarily a federal responsibility, and I would like to thank President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for his leadership. I recall speaking with him after an attack a few months ago, and his prompt response to the matter. He has continued to engage with me on this matter and is equally committed to securing lives and livelihood in the region and the entire country.
The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The Vice President strides to the lectern to deliver his speech. His presence especially appreciated because of his attendance despite his recent bereavement of his mother-in-law. Vice President Kashim Shettima emphasizes, amongst other points, national unity, the importance of the traditional stool of the Sultan of Sokoto to peace, Nigeria's influence in the continent and in the world, which is impetus for leading by example.
Our presence here is a communal gathering to address the afflictions that have threatened the stability and unity of this great house. I am honored to join you in reflecting on our path to extinguishing the pious we were elected to put out. Beyond the economic rationale that drove the amalgamation of the northern and southern parts of Nigeria, the formation of our great nation was inspired by the need for mutual protection. But I ask, how can we achieve this sacred objective if one part is afflicted? We have long established that whatever else any part of this federation destabilizes the other. So the issue of national security in the Northwest is not a sectional agenda. We promise to make Nigeria safer, and this aim has been our topmost priority since we came to office over a year ago. We realize that achieving the peace we seek necessitates addressing the historical injustices that have torn communities apart. We must also reverse the institutional priorities governing security and the economic dysfunctions that create vulnerabilities to crime. We must also counter the ideological mischief that has pervaded the discourse of peace and security in the region. Your Excellencies, your royal fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the solution we seek is a region where every trait is safe, where every group is at peace, and where the policing and military presence of the state is optimal. This disintegration from cycles of clashes between primaries and herders has ruptured the ideas of oneness upon which the North revolved. This was followed by a regime of cattle rustling that set herders on a path of violence. Over the past decades, we have seen how these land use disputes drove the farmer-herder conflicts as climate change diminished our arable land and water resources, as the capacity of our security forces was overwhelmed, as unauthorized arms proliferated conflict zones, as corruption undermined our quest for solutions, and as criminal and insurgent elements exploited the complexity of our crisis to cross into our borders. What we are witnessing across the North is an explosion of these damaged relationships, and we have come to say, enough is enough. Our first decision was to task our brothers from the Northwest and the Northeast with the defense and security of this region. Who else can better understand the complexity of the crisis of the region than the people themselves? This has been a turning point, and I am proud to share that the strategies we have employed have begun to provide redemption. We are not slowing down until we achieve our aim. This effort symbolizes our commitment to sustainable development and a unified, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria, transforming our diversity into strength. The President had approved, and we have secured 51 billion naira in our custody. We'll start rolling out the programs in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
A panel discussion ensues.
The farmer-herder conflict in specifically northern Nigeria, and since we're in the northwest of the country.
Governor Zamfara State, Dr. Dauda Lawal, prefers his salient points.
Addressing the nexus of banditry, extremism, and climate change in northwest Nigeria resonates with our experiences in Zamfara State. We are suffering from banditry and devastating effect of climate change in Zamfara State as well as other part of northern Nigeria. Your Excellencies, in Zamfara, we are implementing various initiatives to enhance security, revitalize agriculture, as well as promote sustainable livelihood. Key among these include the establishment of Security Trust Fund, establishment of state-owned task force named Community Protection Guard to combat banditry as well as other related crimes in the state and support our neighboring states in tackling these menace. We're strengthening community engagement and social cohesion to address communal conflicts. Education is a priority area, considering its vital role in addressing social, political, as well as economic challenges. We have also introduced various vocational and skill acquisition programs for self-reliance, as well as crime intervention.
Dr. Hadiza Balarabe, Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, representing Governor Obasani, makes a case for regional cooperation.
To effectively degrade criminal elements in the Northwest, a multidimensional approach is urgently required. Security management must move beyond just physical security and draw deeply from our political and socio-economic environments. Since the problem of banditry and kidnapping is clearly beyond what one state can effectively manage, regional collaboration is an absolute imperative. Our adversaries are very united and coordinated in their criminal tendencies. We must therefore stand together as one. As colleague governors, we must demonstrate leadership by supporting our security agencies and mobilizing citizens to complement their efforts. We must remember that we are not in competition as states. We are collaborators and partners. While we appreciate the military high command for their unwavering commitment, I believe it is time for us to take that commitment to another level. I wish to suggest the establishment of a theater command dedicated to combating banditry and terrorism in the Northwest. The theater command will be greatly assisted by the 1 Division Nigerian Army covering Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, and Niger states, and the 8th Division covering Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Katsina states.
It is undisputable that the economic crisis being faced globally was further compounded in the Northwest due to activities of bandits, who have now instilled serious fear in the minds of our farmers, as thousands of them were shot dead while working on their farms. Similarly, many communities deserted their homelands. On the others, all out of fear of bandits. This particular situation has greatly contributed in the current shortage of foodstuff being faced in the county, as the zone is a notable producer of various food and cash crops. Your Excellencies, may I at this juncture briefly inform this August gathering the modest effort of our administration to tackle the problem of insecurity in the state since assumption of office. Considering the importance of vehicles in the fight against banditry, Sokoto State government has purchased and distributed 70 security vehicles and restore monthly allowances to the security personnel deployed to flash point. This is in addition to regular logistics support to the security outfit. The government has also established Community Guard Corps, and 700 motorcycles were procured for distribution to them accordingly, as part of the effort to build trust and foster cooperation between security and citizens.
A photo op seals the moment in time, a momentous occasion of federal and regional partnership for peace against insecurity, with the Vice President hinting that the federal government has approved the sum of 51 billion naira to facilitate the fight against insecurity, and reiterating the President's firm stance on safety and security that will also attract foreign direct investment.
The encouraging conclusion of the Northwest Peace and Security Summit, with the promise it holds, light at the end of the tunnel, one that will be beneficial for the states and the country. For Special Report, I'm Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for watching.